What's that?
So we've never gotten that reception.
You guys are about like family. It's spent as much time with you as I
Pretty
do.
tight.
Coach, what can you say about the emotions of, from the 8th inning on of, the throw off from Kai and then trying to get on the board there, stretching a single into a double, and it got thrown out on, and then the 2-out magic of 3 consecutive hits, just, all the way to the end of Brock getting the job done.
Well, it sparked the game really in a lot of different ways because it was kind of flat on both sides for 5 or 6 innings there where there were no runs and no offensive production on either side. The defensive play, throwing out the plate, that was huge. I think that really ignited things just from a emotion standpoint, got us going. And I don't have any problem with Kai trying to stretch that into a double because he went hard out of the box from the first step. So the guy had to make a perfect throw. He did. Hey, tip your hat. He's trying to make something happen, and I don't mind that at all. And then obviously, a lot of times I think that kind of wakes guys up a little bit, even if you do get thrown out. So to me, no problem with that at all. Will came up and flared a double down the line, and it kind of sparked things, and we were able to get a couple runs across there. Matt came up with a big hit off that side armor who's been pretty tough on guys. So just happy, proud of the guys, the way they responded, proud of the way Kyle Luckham threw the ball. We didn't help him out too much defensively there in the second inning, and he settled in nicely and gave us seven quality innings. So that's huge because that saves our bullpen to where I think everybody should be available tomorrow, and we're gonna need everybody tomorrow.
Coach, your team went in a big way with a bit of a cushion yesterday, but they were able to really come out on top in a tight game today. What does that say to the testament of your team when they're pretty beat up?
They've done it all year from a stand that they're not going to give in, and to me that's tribute to their character and what kind of effort that they've put into the season, how much they care, regardless of the record, they care. You got good leadership in there with guys like Connor that hold guys accountable, that demand guys to play hard. Joe Lampe demands guys to play hard. And it's just kind of the way they go about it. The expectations are to not give in no matter what. And regardless of the score, they keep playing hard. And sorry, go ahead.
And off of Connor, I heard you talking to him a little bit after he kind of came off that single or that first a little rough. What's the plan for him tomorrow?
If he's able to play, he will play. And I'm not holding him out. He knows what's at stake. He knows that this is his, the last. He doesn't have any more eligibility after this year. So he's, regardless if he wants it or not, he can't come back. So he knows that this is the last time he'll put on a Sun Devil uniform, and he's earned every right to be out there as long as he's capable of doing it. And whatever role that's going to be, whether it's DH or first base, he'll be in there tomorrow. If he's able to go, he's going. So I need his presence, his leadership in the line.
Did you tell Kyle to kind of live on the outer part of the plate with his reunion with the home plate umpire tonight?
No, I didn't. I didn't even want to. Everybody else was talking about that, of course, and I just said focus and go pitch your game. And like I said, he settled in great and really threw the ball really outstanding. I thought, especially I thought he was throwing the ball better the last 2 or 3 innings than the first 2 or 3. So the fact that he's getting stronger as the year goes on and continues to progress and settle down when there's a tough inning there, and he settled right back down. He's showing signs that he's becoming a complete pitcher and able to get over mishaps that might happen. So can't say enough about the job he did.
What does it say about his mental makeup that he's been able to be your horse all year long, and really when the rest of the staff, almost every pitcher is running into some prolonged adversity, he's kind of held the line at the top?
Well, that's what we were hoping to get when we got him. Is a guy that had experience, the guy that has been through the fire a little bit, ups and downs, and understands that he's coming on and taking that responsibility. And again, we've strategically put him on Saturday because he more often than not gives us the best opportunity at length and is going to compete and give it what he's got. He's been consistent with his stuff all year. You know, sometimes his stuff gets hit and sometimes he's filthy. So, but bottom line, he goes out there and competes and gives his best effort every time. And you know, it's a tribute to how he goes about his business, and he's very meticulous about how he does that. And we can count on him to give us a good start more often than not.
Going off that question, what does it say about him that he has this type of start tonight in such a huge game for your guys, as you guys head of the tournament, deal with seeding? Utah's right there with you, and to have it against this after what happened last time at Stanford.
You know, I don't know. You know, I try to preach to the guys to not let an umpire dictate the game and dictate how, you know, a bad call here, a bad call there. It's been a challenge because today's generation likes to chirp a little bit, but we try to get our guys to just focus on doing their job and competing and not letting a bad call one way or another affect you. That's my job. If it gets, in my mind, too bad, then I'll take care of it. But other than that, their focus hopefully should be on just going out, competing, and executing their job. And you know, I don't think Kyle was thinking much of what happened at Stanford. You know, said our piece. That's in the past. It's in the review. So his job is to go out and give us a good start today, and he did. And exactly what we needed. So it gives us an opportunity to. Every game is pivotal in the situation we're in. We know that, but it gives us a good opportunity to get 3 straight against a team that's been playing really, really well lately. So we can figure out a way to get tomorrow's game. That's a huge shot in the arm for us.
Naturally, whatever pitcher you threw in after Luckham for that 8th inning to try and bridge it to Peary, you have to have a lot of trust in Pivarov. How have you seen him develop this season? Obviously, you guys have some health issues in the bullpen, and maybe that played into the decision, but he did his job, and he kind of made that decision look really well.
Piv's quietly become, I say quietly in more than one way, he's been a breath of fresh air, you know, in the back end of the pen, a guy that we can count on and trust. And, you know, we've even toyed with the idea of maybe starting him if we need it, because he has 3 really good pitches and he's developing his changeup better and getting some velocity off of that. So it gives him 3 quality pitches right now that, you know, with our staff the way it is, and, you know, if we can figure out a way to continue piling up wins and crazier things happen, we're going to need another starter. And he gives us kind of that repertoire of a starter. So right now I like him where he's at in the back end, but I'd be lying if I said we hadn't thought about him being possibly another guy that we could go to open a game and give us 3 or 4 solid innings.
Nate's been batting cleanup here recently. What have you seen from him? Obviously, he leads the team in RBI, so he gets your job done, and it's a perfect spot for that. But is this something just kind of day by day? You're just seeing how it feels and what's working?
Well, last couple of years, Nate gets hot in May, and kind of late April, May, he seems to find a new gear and gets hot, and he's starting to do it again. So I'm riding that horse as much as I can. I'm putting him in a RBI spot and let him go. You know, had a huge night last night. Swung the bat okay tonight. Got another RBI tonight. So I anticipate he'll be right back there tomorrow.
What does it mean to see a true freshman like Campos come in there in the 8th and keep the inning going with another big RBI single after play in the 3-hole like that?
Campy gets me excited just because he's a freshman. He's our most mature hitter in my mind. Most kind of professional hitter. Doesn't try to do too much. Stays within himself. Just puts together good at bats. And every once in a while he'll brain fart like a freshman does. And you know, last night he forgot how many strikes he had and took strike 3. And I'm like, what are you trying to get? Strike 4, or what do you got there? We had fun with that today a little bit, but he just, more often than not, he gives you a professional at bat. You don't see him get fooled too often. He stays within himself, and for a freshman to do that, and I've put a lot on his plate, and he's responded tremendously. You know, to primarily being our everyday catcher, and now batting 3rd. Where I trust him in the 3-hole, and I trust him behind the plate, and Nate is every bit as adequate back there behind the plate, but with the injuries we have, we need Nate to bounce around. So both of those guys have been very selfless about what I've asked him to do, and you know, Campy being a freshman and handling this workload and putting the kind of production he had or is having, I mean, that's impressive.
Tomorrow kind of being a Mother's Day game, and I was gonna ask this family here or not, but what, you kind of spoke on this before, but what does your family support mean to you in this first year in a very different role in baseball?
Well, I got and I would say this if she wasn't here, but I have a champ back there that is pretty special to put up with the hours that this job entails and requires. Got 4 kids at home that are running in every which direction, and so I don't know how she pulls it off, but she does. You know, and it's important. When I took this job, I wouldn't have done it without her undivided support and my family's support. Can't say enough about the job she does at home and keeping the kids in line, and I don't know how she handles everything, but she has help from Grandma and Grandpa who are here as well. I can't say enough about my family, because this job wouldn't matter without them in my corner, so couldn't do it without them, and I wouldn't have done it without their undivided support. So thank you to them, and thank you to all the moms out there that run the ship at home, because it's or run the ship period, because they're you know, the selfless job that they have every day.
Ahead of tomorrow's game, you had Meyer pitch yesterday, and so what is it looking like for the opener?
We'll start Boyd tomorrow again, and I think you know, we'll see. We're confident that you know, Boyd gives us a competitive outing, regardless of numbers. You know, he's going to go out and compete, and he's going to. His presence out there to me is as important of his effectiveness. You know, he's been through a lot. He's a leader on this team. He's a senior. Every game means something to him, and it should mean something to everybody, but the fact that he is who he is, I just want him out there to start a game off. And my hope is that, you know, these guys understand what Boyd's been through, and they're going to rally behind him as well. And whether he gives us 1 inning, 2 innings, 3 innings tomorrow, just having him start off the game and his presence out there, great. We understand we're going to have to use a lot of arms tomorrow probably, and in limited roles to keep everybody fresh and give a bunch of different angles, but that's kind of the plan going into tomorrow, is all hands on deck, ready for an inning or 2, and we'll give it what we got, and hopefully swing the bats well enough to where put a W up.
Assuming that you know, there's going to be several more starts for Boyd as the season's going to keep going on, do you anticipate him still kind of being on a pitch count, like you said, they're 1, 2, or 3 innings? Is that something that you're just keeping intact for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think you know, we monitor his health pretty closely, and make sure he's, you know, getting ample time, and getting up and down is kind of the, you know, after an inning sitting down and ramping back up, that's kind of the hard part, and how many innings he throws in between when he sits up and down, how long our offensive innings, all that kind of plays a factor, but you know, obviously effectiveness too. And I think I know the numbers don't look pretty on his last start at UCLA, but the ball was coming out a lot better than it has all year with him. But the last thing to come after the Tommy John is the ultimate feel on the finish, and if he can get that feel, who knows? I think he's really close, and my hope is for him personally, for our team obviously, if he can get that last bit of feel back at the right time. Like I said, I'll put my money on our guys any day.
Does he have any eligibility left after this year?
No, as far as I know, I don't think so. Wish he did, because I think it'd be special to have him for a full year healthy. But as far as I know, I should know this answer, but I'm pretty sure it's
Didn't mean
no.
to put you on the spot.
I'm pretty sure it's no. I know Connor doesn't for sure.
No way. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.